One of the things that we recognize is that women and men are differently affected by shocks. All you have to do is look at when a cyclone hits Bangladesh. The women are much more dramatically hit by that cyclone than the men are, because they're often forced to stay at the home for longer periods of time while things are getting worse, and they don't get to the shelter fast enough. And so shocks can affect women differently than men. Capacities. Women are oftentimes, if there's a lot of gender bias within the community, they may not be able to go after the kinds of income generating activities or diversified livelihood activities that will enable them to manage risks better. They oftentimes are not getting access to formal credit because it may be, they don't have the collateral that they can depend on to pay it back. So there's a lot of capacities that people are not able to have equal access to simply because of gender. The same thing for well-being. What we found is that women are more likely to make sure that their children are well taken care of before they take care of themselves. And so they may sacrifice the amount of food they eat, or the nutritional outcomes may be jeopardized simply because they're trying to make sure that their kids are well taken care of. And so gender has a big effect on well-being as well. What we found in studies where we've been able to incorporate women's empowerment measures into our work, we found that women's empowerment has been one of the most powerful transformative capacity issues that you can imagine. In the work that we did in Bangladesh, where we have a fairly good measure of women's empowerment, we found that it really made a difference in people's ability to manage the floods that were happening in the Howrah region of Bangladesh, because women were more empowered to make decisions that affect their lives. So we believe that this really makes a difference, and it's one of those things that often takes a long time to change. So transformative capacity often takes more than 10 years to bring about a change in. We believe one of the reasons why when you invest in resilience building, you have to be there for the long term, because you can probably bring about some quick changes in absorptive capacity and adaptive capacity, but these transformative capacities, particularly these sociocultural norms that have to change, take a long time to put in place. But that's what makes a huge difference in people's lives. So you have to be committed for the long term. Now, I know that AID tends to have 5-year projects, and they don't normally want to have a long, in fact, I don't even think Congress will let them invest for 10 years, but you can have a 10, 15-year strategy where you're actually investing in the same region for a long period of time, and you can see how the connection of your different projects are working towards building that transformative capacity, particularly around these sociocultural norms that are so critical for giving women opportunity.